Australia is a relatively young country from a European perspective, and so to have a college that's been in existence for 110 years is pretty special. A continued focus on supporting women to access tertiary education for 110 years is really important.
And I do pay tribute to the people who worked so hard to start the college, because it must have been an uphill battle.
Yeah, I mean, anything that can predate a World War I, right? It's pretty, and just education of females at that time. You just have to look at this place from even when I was here. There's so much more to support the students. Like, it just evolves so naturally and only seems to be getting better and better, which is really cool.
It was pretty small back in those days, just a couple of, I think, new wing and old wing. And now there's all these additional wings and there's a playhouse, and it's massive.
The expansion has to happen in such a way that we don't lose the community spirit of the college.
So we're now having to look at study hubs and how we can change what we've got here to be more flexible study places, because they like to gather. They use a lot more technology, so we're putting, PowerPoints outside. So things can't always stay the same. So maintain the traditions and culture that are relevant and important, but always looking to the future to make sure that we've got an eye on where higher education is going, what the expectations of young women are as they, enter into higher education, how they study, how they gather, how they want to live their lives.
It's so important to recognise that these groups of young girls, over all of those decades, for something like this to go on and stay sturdy in times when, perhaps things weren't so easy, when you think about it, with wars and financial issues, with droughts out west in particular. When I see the gym, the auditorium, there's so much development that's going on. I can see that. I remember when this space was just a car park of some description with gravel on it, and to see that it's been really developed nicely, and you drive around the river there and you look in, it still looks so beautiful.
As a college leadership team, we have continued to look at what is on offer here, both in programs and certainly in the facilities, because young people need different things over time, and the college has kept pace with all those changes and expectations. Hence, we are such a successful college that we are today.
There's clearly been a lot of investment in making sure that the girls are looked after properly, and that their health and well-being is looked after as well. So it's wonderful to see the changes. It's certainly a lot posher than when we were here. We were the ragtag year where everybody was not wearing the same clothes in our year photos, or we were in T-shirts, but every other year seemed to have been well-dressed or was in academic gown.
So in the next 10 years, we want to develop the campus in order to meet those needs. We've already started. The students now look for great outdoor areas where they can be out in the fresh air and sit and study, so we've responded to that. A wellbeing centre is what we're working on now for them, so that everything is here for them in their experience at college.
I think there is going to be, for a very long time to come, in a state like Queensland, a really important place for somewhere like Women's College that can provide a safe, nurturing, supportive, but also challenging. I mean, there were real expectations that women's girls would do well. You had to, sort of live up to this expectation that we weren't slouches, we weren't going to waste our talents. And I think that environment is a pretty, it's a great petri dish, to grow great young women. And I think there's going to be a long, long time for there to be a place for that.
I'd love the college to remain a home away from home for people, no matter how far they have come to be here, and to give them, to wrap them up in their first few years, or at least their first year here at university. It's a big step away from home. Everything's different, and it's nice to think that these girls are being encouraged and supported along their journey, wherever that may lead them.
And we're so lucky to have amazing staff, amazing alum, and an amazing community and family. So I think celebrating our 110 years is such a momentous milestone. It's a chance to really celebrate who we are, the things that we hold really dear, looking back at our mission and our values and our motto, and looking at how we can continue to drive forward into the future and again have many, many more generations of Wuzzers come through these fabulous doors.